we were here at the office real late one night, and you get a little stir crazy. And we just started talking about graduate school, and he's a Harvard business grad. I started to talk about my UC MBA, so of course we started building a spreadsheet on who had the best ROI from their graduate degree, and I won. For me, that ROI was very important, because it is how you got to think about things in life. You have to think about what is the benefit, does it justify the risks you're taking, and for me it absolutely was worth it, and it paid off in spades. I grew up here in Cincinnati. We were pretty much raised by my mom. What that meant for me is I had to start working at an early age. I remember at 15 I had to get the work permit to start working earlier than 16, and we all worked, and we all worked our way through it. But I think that gives you a sense of what you need to do in life. I went to undergrad really for my mom. My mom is the one who basically said, "You're going to college." My undergrad was great, but it was for something else. It wasn't really for me. And it wasn't really until I got out of my undergrad and I started to gain this really inner engine to learn and improve and become better. And it was more of a passion. Like, I was just very curious about everything. I was engaged at the time to my wife, and she was actually in graduate school. And she actually was the one that really kind of inspired me also to try something new, because I saw her in graduate school and what she was learning and how excited she was to learn, and all the really cool people that she met. She was doing something she was incredibly passionate about, and I want that. I was really excited about going to school in my hometown in UC. My MBA taught me a few very valuable lessons. Your ability to adapt in any situation where they give you more work than you can possibly handle, and mentally you really don't think you can do it, but you begin to compartmentalize the work, and you just step one step at a time, and you do it. And that really is what was incredibly valuable for me in my graduate degree. I was hired right after graduate school, and I got to know some just awesome people, and one of the things that they did for me, I still hadn't gone on a honeymoon, so we're probably 3 years after being married, 3 or 4 years after being married, and I kind of going through one of those moments of like, have I made the right choices? I'm working nonstop, and next thing I know, because of the work I was doing and I was working really hard, he had mentioned to the CFO, and the CFO was kind enough to give me a spot award that basically paid for my honeymoon. So, and honestly, that's the kind of company that Bell is. I'm gonna get choked up.
He's a perfect fit. We're the last of the Bell companies that has Cincinnati in its name, and as a UC graduate, Leigh fits in perfectly. Clearly, I think one of the great things they do at the University of Cincinnati, they teach the deductive thinking, and Leigh does that very naturally. And it has helped him immensely as he works with people here through all walks of life. And Leigh worked his way through the ranks. He did the right thing for the right reason. He was honest and forthright with people, and it paid off, and it's good to see that happen.
I was working incredibly hard, and I was progressing in my career, but I was working nonstop. And I remember I went to a buddy of mine and just said, "This just doesn't feel right. There's got to be a bigger purpose, right?" He said, "Have you ever thought of just giving back and start to get involved with a charity?" And I said, "Yeah, I have, but I want to connect myself with something." And that's when they mentioned he was involved with Cancer-Free Kids at the time, and that was the first charity that I really got involved in.
We fund the untried idea, the novel, innovative idea that nobody else is going to fund, because that's the game changer. That's looking at solutions in a different way. And so he was part of all of those conversations early on when we decided that that's how we can make our stamp here, and that's how we can put ourselves out of business. Every event we have, every initiative we have, the Cincinnati Bell is part of it. And that corporate committee that Leigh was serving on, everybody intuitively knows that if Leigh's involved in something, it's something that he really cares about. And that is an example that he's giving to all of the other employees and other people that he touches in his life.
That's the kind of company this place is. From day one, it's been incredibly hard. we've gone through a lot, but it's such a giving place. Like, it just, to its employees, to the community, it's just got such a heart. And I've experienced it through the years, and it's been, obviously amazing to me, and I've worked really hard for it, but it's rewarded me for that work in many ways. The spreadsheet was just a spreadsheet, and I would say that the education and the process took me so far beyond that spreadsheet that you can't put it in numbers, right? It started with the spreadsheet and started with the numbers, but then gave me the ability to take that to a whole nother level and really find the things that are so fulfilling in life. And then, look how blessed I am to be in the position I am, in the company that I am in. And it wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have happened without that education. It wouldn't happen without the realizations that I gained through all that hard work, through filling out that spreadsheet and then moving beyond that spreadsheet and realizing that there's so much more in life.